The Honest Edit Podcast, unpacking the truth about life's messes, one honest conversation at a time. With your host, Scarlett, the no fluff, get it done mindset coach, and Holly, your go to for all things practical, balancing chaos with compassion.
Hello and welcome back to the Honest Edit Podcast with Holly and Scarlett. I'm going to doodle for a minute. Today we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about, Scarlett?
It's more like mindset work. I'm a big believer in growth mindset, and I would like to start adding a bit more, maybe just like mindset coaching into our episodes, because a lot of what we do is really mindset driven. I mean, we have to have that sort of positive outlook, in our projects. We lead and we guide our clients to new systems or new habits. I feel like, we're coaches, basically. And so, I think it's great to share what works for us, when we have to go through certain life obstacles, or how we get back into alignment with, with what we're looking to accomplish. That could be goals, that could be dreams, that could be, where's our business going, where our projects are going, how do we want to show up in the world, etc. And so I think it's just good to kind of share with the class what works for us, what's running across our page that we gravitate to, what gets us going out of bed in the morning, how do we stick to our systems and our routines, and just really get back on track with what we're trying to accomplish on a daily basis.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And I get real kind of passionate about, this sort of content. So for me, it's like, how can we really share that with you and get you going, get you moving? Not just like in a session, but also, if you're listening to the show or following our Instagrams or whatever,
Yeah, I like that. I definitely have had some of those moments in life where I feel totally discombobulated and not grounded and like all over the place. And so I think one of the things that I've learned, it's funny, before we started recording, I was like, is this from my 20-year-old Holly or a 40-year-old Holly? But I think one of the things that I've learned is that when I'm feeling overwhelmed like that, like I always go back to yoga. Like, do those things, do that self-care for you, like do those things for you that help ground you and relax you so you can work through all of the feelings. And so there was a time where Jim and I were remodeling our house, and we weren't living in it, but I was so stressed out that I started going across the street to this yoga studio. And then I just found like, oh, this is where I belong. And so I think when I'm getting overwhelmed by things, instead of just making a list or powering through whatever, I need to take a break. I need to like recluse, go in my little hole and go sit in a dark space, go lay on my yoga mat, do some grounding, do some breathing. And that helps me like clear my mind. And then I can start doing those other things, like those other methods that I know that like, okay, this is how I actually get started. But I don't think you can for me, I can't do that work unless I have grounded myself. And I actually talked to a therapist like a couple weeks ago that I had talked to a couple of years ago when Max was little. And he said, I can hear you are in such a different place. You're much more grounded. You're much more balanced than you were before. And I was like, yeah, I fought to get to where I am now. But because things aren't like as chaotic. But so I just kind of remember that, and that's how I get started. But I know that you have lots of stories with all of your coaching and mindset clients. So tell us some of your need to knows.
Well, I think it also just starts with who you are and who you'd like to be as a person. So for me,
We have to answer. We have to know that question.
well, I think that's a constant like exploration of that. Why we're always, interest changes, we, get older, priorities change, whatever. But I, a lot of our clients, life really happens to them, and those obstacles happen. And so it's like I always reflect back into, where was I a year ago? Or what was I doing 5 years ago? Or what kind of mindset was I dealing with 10 years ago? Going back to that whole, are we talking about 20s, Holly, or 40s, Holly? So kind of same thing. But I think for me, starting this sort of mindset conversation is I just went down this sort of rabbit hole after a huge life obstacle. For me, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And basically, all that means is that they don't know what the hell is wrong with you. It stems from the gut. And there's 200 symptoms that can follow that fun little
Diagnosis.
Yes. And I had a plethora of them. I had chronic fatigue. I had a lot of pain that I had to work through and figure out how am I going to get rid of this? Do I want to be on prescriptions? Do I not? I'm not a pills girl at all. I don't even like taking supplements, but I do obviously. What's my diet? While you're battling out all of those, okay, what am I going to do next? You also don't want to do anything. You feel like crap. You're tired. I could literally get 12 hours of sleep and still be tired and still have hard time functioning through my day. I had immense brain fog. I had zero desire to do anything. I hated the job that I had. I had no, I basically had no peace and I had no joy throughout my day. So it's like I kind of had to figure out, where do I start even with that? And so I think I became obsessed with really meditation at that point, visualizations, and then, your mind is very powerful.
Right.
The power of your mind is just incredible. And the more down that rabbit hole I go in the power of the mind, the more blown away I am with that sort of topic. And so you'll kind of hear me bring that up often because I'm just like truly fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, I'm this sort of average person and I'm going through hell right now. And if I looked at my life, where would I really want to be? Like, what kind of person would I really want to be? And I was never the overachiever in a sense of like captain of a cheerleading team, or I'm going to go and play these sports. I'm going to win these trophies and, whatever. I'm an overachiever by nature because I'm a people pleaser, but I'm not an overachiever in a sense where I'm going to go and get an award and stand on the podium. And I was not that person. Straight A student. I flunked out of cop school. Okay. Let's be real for a second here. I was homeless at one point. I knew at this point in my life, I was like in my 30s. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was miserable every day. I was in pain every day. I wasn't fighting with my family because I was so miserable and I didn't like my job. So then I need to start on that. But what really helped me to decide to shift is I needed to start believing in my own self. And then if I was to believe in my own self, what does that look like? What kind of person do I want to show up and be? I want to be a healthy person. I want to be someone that's not in pain. I want to be positive and happy. I want to show up as confident. I want to show up as I can be a winner in a sense where I can own a successful company and not feel like, oh, I can't ever do that. I didn't really think at that point I would ever own a business again. I've had 3 failed businesses. So my experience from that was, we're not going to do that again. I'm just going to go build someone else's dream instead of mine. And I just didn't think I was worthy enough. That's really what it boils down to it. Yeah. And so, I just started with, well, let's make a decision to believe in ourselves. What does that person look like? And then now that I have that vision, how do I get there? So lots of self-development, lots of reading books, lots of listening to, people I would consider a mentor, and just moving in that direction of becoming that person. But I had to start with, I believe I'm that person.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like in a way where our clients always say when we enter their home, "Oh man, I'm so disorganized. I'm so messy. I can't get my life together." Well, yeah, if you say those things out loud and you truly believe it, then you're always going to be messy. You're always going to be disorganized, and
You're always never apologizing for it.
exactly. I was like, so why don't we change? I always say, flip the script and say what you want to be. You want to be a clean, organized person. Say, I'm a very organized person, and just start believing that. And then your subconscious is going to start acting in that manner and in that direction. And so you have to just build that core belief because you made a decision to just be that person. I really like a guy named Dan, what's his last name? Martell. And he literally said, he's like, I'm going to read this because I'm not going to like screw up his own line. But he says, people don't do the things they should or shouldn't because they haven't decided to just make it who they are.
Say it again.
People don't do the things they should or shouldn't do because they haven't decided to just make it who they are. So it's always a negotiation with themselves. It's an argument with yourself. Do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do this? And then you find excuses. It's kind of like when I go to the gym in the morning. I can't imagine my days now not going to the gym. That's just who I am. I say I'm a healthy, fit person. I love going to the gym. Now, do I always love going to the gym? No. Do I really love going to the gym? No. But what I do is I say that and I become that person, and I just believe that I'm that person. And if I don't go to the gym in the morning, my day feels off. It feels weird. If I don't meditate in the morning, my brain feels off. It feels weird.
Yeah.
And it started with building that core belief first, and then inserting all of, the kind of like the how-tos or being around the self-development or, what works for you. I mean, I listen to a lot of just positive growth and mindset stuff throughout my day, specifically in the morning. Like, when I get up at 5 a.m., do you think I really want to fucking get up at 5 a.m. in the morning? I mean, what was I thinking? No, but because I do the things in the morning that excites me the most, which is listening to my stuff and working out and getting that peace and that meditation time, I actually want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I don't just lay there and find those excuses. I literally am that person now. And so I basically took myself from being this sort of average person in my mind, and I said, you know what, I'm the MVP. I'm the successful business owner. I'm the healthy, fit person. I do not claim fibromyalgia. I am not going to sit here and be in pain. And of course, I take CBD for pain. I had to do let's be realistic.
You have to feel yourself.
I did. And I did a lot of internal work. And what I came to find was, those building blocks and those stepping stones got me out of that situation and more in alignment with who I want to be. But it basically just started with that core belief.
Right.
I was almost delusional about who I was at one point, I guess you could say.
I've heard that from other coaches.
Mm.
There's a gal down in Austin. I went to her. She had a, what is it called when we did together? Workshop or something last year. And she's like, I start my day saying, I am the epitome of health and positivity. And we all wrote our own like mantra in the morning of this is what you're going to say to yourself every morning. And this is what's going to get you up and out of bed and going.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can, people have used their minds to cure themselves of disease, of trauma. There is the mind work is really, really important. And so if you can write it on your mirror, put it on a Post-it note, repeat it.
And I did that too. So Lisa Nichols was one of, kind of my mentors. I took her course, and she literally said, it was Lisa Nichols and it was also Marsha Peer. They both kind of did the same thing, but they literally said, go write on your mirror, lipstick, I'm enough.
Mm-hmm.
That was more Marissa Peer.
Yeah.
And I did that. And I actually was kind of embarrassed about it. I kind of wrote it behind this vase because I didn't want anybody else to see it. and you're supposed to talk to yourself in the mirror. You know, it's really uncomfortable. And I coach it now with anyone that works with me. And you're supposed to say wonderful things about yourself.
Absolutely.
And have sort of that delulu, if you will,
Yeah.
about the belief that you want to take on, you know, about yourself. But it did start with writing. I'm enough.
I can do hard things,
Mm-hmm.
and I am enough, and I am worthy.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the things, like, I'm here, I'm going to start from here
Mm-hmm.
and just get going. Because it's not, we have to be in our jobs, we have to be on. Like, I can't show us at a client's house and be like, I'm just so tired from the week, and my kid and my husband and the business and all. Like, I can't bring my shit. I can't help people pick up the bricks to put in their backpack if my shit is everywhere. So, like, not every day is an easy day. No, we are all in the simulation. We're all in the human experience, and we're all experiencing all the things. But I do believe, because I have done that before, of just getting grounded, doing those few things in the morning, or whatever time of day works for you. In the morning is good for me, because it sets me up for the day of, I'm here, I'm worth it. People are paying me for my expertise, for my talent, and to keep going.
Yeah. And I will say, like, prior to really diving into like core belief about yourself and what you can accomplish, I was in and out of, oh, I'm going to get fit this month. And, I dropped the ball 2 weeks in, or, oh, I'm going to go do this. And then it fizzles away. And, I did not stay consistent. I think that's why I don't really care for motivation, because motivation is always like really fleeting. It's like it comes, it goes, it never stays. You can't rely on it. It's not consistent. And so I love discipline, which, not everybody really that likes that word for one reason or another. But for me, discipline was what kept me in alignment with staying consistent and just developing. It started with the belief, and then it was really and again, this is like another thing that I saw the other day, and it resonated with me. And they were talking about discipline, and I love it. And I'll read it again. I'm gonna start reading shit off US paper in every episode, because I just don't want to like screw up my point. But basically, discipline is so important. I say it all the time, and here's why it's so important. It's literally the strongest form of self-love, and here's why. It's ignoring something now for something better later. Discipline reveals the commitment you have to your goals and your dreams, especially on the days that you don't want to. And your future self is depending on your current self to keep those promises yesterday that you made.
I love that.
So yeah.
I've had a lot of, I think that over this past like 6 months, a lot of those discipline conversations with myself of like, you're not going to hit your goal unless you do this thing, or you don't do this thing.
It's the commitment that you make to yourself, And listen, I mean, we all have like distractions.
Yeah.
We always think, oh, it's going to be this that like knocks me off of, the path that I wanted to get to my goal or whatever. But no, it's really just distractions that you allow to, that you allow to keep in your life, rather than just doing things that you should be doing.
Yeah.
I think people delay things longer than it actually takes to do.
Absolutely. We have so many distractions. There's so many other things to do, or that you could be doing. And that's not like, I'm not on social much, but sometimes when I see those posts that are like disappear for a month and do these things, I'm like, yes, I like,
That's what I did.
go internal and figure out what you believe and what you want, and then go get it. And it's not an easy thing to do. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Right.
But it is achievable.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you, from where I was years ago, in bed all day, in pain, crap mindset, didn't think I could amount to anything, to now owning 3 businesses, having a podcast with you. Thank you. Now showing up online in social media, because I did take a hiatus from social media for a while. To now going, what else can I do? What else can I accomplish? I mean, we're not expert podcasters. Yeah, I'm like reading from a freaking paper because I'm still learning to speak, right? But, we got to freaking start somewhere. I mean, this is a new skill set.
Yeah.
I'm always looking at you instead of the camera, because it's awkward, and you're better at intros than I am because, I mean, she's just on it.
I just like to talk.
But you got to start somewhere. And
Exactly.
you got to keep building the belief and just doing the things that you want to do to get you on that timeline, on that path to where you want to ultimately go. And I didn't tell you the mind being the most powerful thing. I literally, and you'll kind of hear me trip over my words because I have like a retainer now in my mouth. So I had dental surgery. What was that? It was like right after my birthday. So like 2 months ago, I had dental surgery. I have 4 bottom teeth removed. Because I just have I have a mouth disease on top of all my other ailments.
Saying
Yay. And so, that's just something I've been battling with for like 20 years. But anyways, I had 4 teeth removed. And I just made the decision the week prior to the surgery. I had it on like a Monday. I'm going to have a short recovery. I don't have time for this surgery. I have things going on. I didn't want to skip the show. I dance once a week. I have a wonderful dance partner. So every Wednesday, like I go dance. And I just thought, I got to be in the field. I got a business to run. I got shit to do. I don't have time for this. And I tell you, I went in on Monday. They did the impressions. I had the surgery by 1. I slept the day away. But Tuesday, I was back at it. I was sitting at this freaking desk. I didn't take 1 ibuprofen that they prescribed to me. It was a big old honking horse pills. No thanks. I didn't take whatever painkiller. It was like hydrocodone or something. I didn't take that at all. Actually, my husband threw his back out and he was taking my ibuprofen. I was like, well, at least somebody's taking my ibuprofen.
Yeah.
But I just made the decision that I was going to have a quick recovery. I was dancing on Wednesday and I was back in the gym on Thursday.
And you did it.
And I did it. And I was fine. I mean, I talked funny and I drooled and I couldn't use a straw. So I don't know what my deal is with straw. Between Botox and mouth surgeries, I just don't know how to use straws anymore. But so now and you know what? Just the funny part is like, if I had this surgery last year, and I mean, I would have never thought we would be having like some sort of podcast show last year at all. Like, this is really the transformation of where my belief was. But I would have been so self-conscious about having this sort of retainer in my mouth until I get like my permanent.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hear me trip over my words. Like, I'll be slurring a little bit. Like, the damn thing pops up, drives me nuts, and I have to like pause and like push it back down. And I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm on camera right now. I'm literally telling you I have like a denture.
That's good.
And I don't care. And you're going to hear me talk funny until I get the freaking permanent, right? But it's just that self-belief. It's like, I'm here to give information and this is how I'm showing up in the world. And my self-esteem and confidence from where I was a year ago to even where I was 5 years ago is just night and day different.
Mm-hmm.
But it all really starts with, you need to write down the person you want to be, and then you need to be delulu about it and just have that core belief. You want to be an organized person? Start by saying you're an organized person. And we'll pop up in your life and we'll be Mary Poppins in your house, and you'll be able to keep up the maintenance just fine. And you'll live a lot calmer.
I think that it's really, this is a big part of what we do. And, we can work and make spaces beautiful and put a system in there and make them work. But if the person that's living there doesn't have the skill set to do it, they're not going to do that. They're not going to work the system. They're going to just say, oh, I'm just an organized person. I spent this money and time to do this, and then I can't keep it up. And that's not what we want either. We want it to work for you. Mm-hmm. But I truly believe, and I think that some of my organizing and my sessions are a little bit of therapy and coaching too.
Oh, all times.
Always, like, let's sit down and talk about how this makes you feel. Why is it so hard for you to put your purse on the rack instead of throwing your shoes on the ground or whatever. And there's always excuses. There's always something. And we're not discounting that at all. But these are just
No, those are totally valid.
totally valid. Totally valid. I got a screaming kid on my arm. I have a headache. I have a meeting that didn't go well today at work, and I got to work after.
I wasn't feeling good.
Wasn't feeling good. I just don't fucking want to.
Right.
I just don't fucking want to. That's my excuse. It's like, I just don't want to today. I just want to have a day.
But I think that's when we're feeling that overwhelmed. Throw our arms up and we're like, we're done. And that's what I did. I threw my arms up and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But again, if you just revisit your why and why you do things and where you want to go and develop that and stick to it, it'll remind yourself of it. It'll be bigger than I can't do this anymore.
Right. And I also believe that, saying like I'm worthy, saying that I'm enough.
Oh my gosh.
Like these people that we make up in our head that are judging us, they're not out there doing the thing. They're not out there doing the hard work. They're out there judging. They're out there critiquing others. And they probably have their own bricks in their backpacks and their shit too. But you have like this one life right here, right now, to make it the best you can. So change how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Change how you present yourself in your space.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see things start to change.
Yeah. And then you can take the next building block. We're just developing that growth mindset and then figuring out things that work for you in your normal day to get through your day and to come on top. And I'm even now a year where I feel like I have taken on a lot and transformed a lot and become a completely different person. There's still room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
There's still skill sets to be learned. There's still things to explore and to experience. And I think we all owe it to ourselves to just see everything that we can accomplish and do all the things that we would like to do in life. Whether it's with our family, our kids, or going off on our own, or eat, pray, love somewhere, or whatever. Right? I do love that film. Such a great film.
They send me back to Italy.
Yeah. Oh, I loved Italy. I always say I loved Italy so much. I married at the time. We haven't been to Italy yet together.
I know. Let's go.
Weird.
Turn this podcast off. Let it go.
We're out.
We're going to Italy. Keep that. See you in a couple of weeks.
All right, guys. And see, I'm tripping over you. Like denture.
It's okay. It happens. Thank you, Scarlett, for sharing and being vulnerable with us and talking to us about your life and your things. And you guys got to work with her. She's amazing. So tell us where we can find you and where we can have you be our coach.
Oh, just my website, whitespacemethods.com. Major call, and I can book something with you.
Yeah.
But see, this is why she does the intros and the endings, because she's just really good at it. And I haven't developed the skills yet. I got lost in my own.
I'm just like, this is
Or my
this is what we're doing. I'm just trying to like help one person at a time. I'll keep in my mind, okay, and raising a kind, considerate little boy. So I mean,
We're super cute.
super cute. It's really hard how freaking cute he is. He's been all like wanting to snuggle and kissy face this week.
That's such a great.
I'm like, one day you're not gonna want me to touch you. And I told him that I'm gonna give him kisses on his face until he's old like daddy. And he said, no, you're not. And I said, yes, I am. Because I am your mother and I will do what I want.
If others can do that.
Yes. Okay. We love you guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
The Honest Edit Podcast. Unpacking the truth about life's messes, one honest conversation at a time. With your host, Scarlett, the no fluff, get it done mindset coach, and Holly, your go-to for all things practical, balancing chaos with compassion.